What's up, guys? Devin Zander here. Hey, that was a long wind-up for those watching on video. I have my co-host here, Mr.
Clayton Johnson.
And we are...
The Roundabouts!
I think that's what you needed to pump yourself up, man. I feel good.
Yes.
Yeah, we could just do
Let's do
an
this.
early fist bump. Boom.
Get that.
To get ourselves excited.
Yeah, dude, I think we're getting the intro down. The only thing that left to say is that we are the #1 intergalactic marketing podcast.
Yes, and I actually just saw them talking about us on Game of Thrones, which is crazy because not only is that show set a long time ago, but the show wasn't even out yet when we started this podcast. But that's just how big we really are.
True that. Tell them what we're talking about today.
Guys, today, this is a build on our last episode, so you may have seen it. Hopefully you saw it, how to create irresistible 7-figure or even 8-figure offers.
Hell you.
And today what we're going to talk about builds upon that a little bit, and it's how to close a time-sensitive, limited promotional offer, right? So a lot of companies, they'll do sales that last 3 days, 7 days, or they'll do a new product release that will only allow a certain amount of customers in, or it'll only be open for a few days. And we're going to talk about how to double your sales or how to close those sales properly. So a lot of people might not know this. Hopefully they do. When you run a special offer like that, almost all of your sales are going to come on the final day. Now,
If you do it right.
If you do it right.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you how to do that today.
Okay, so I want to kind of interview you on this a little bit because
go,
I
baby.
actually don't do a very good job of this. But before I do that, I do want to start with this preface is that if you don't run promotions, first you have to do promotions.
Yes.
Like I think we got to actually say it because there's a lot of businesses out there that are just running and they're just like, I have products and people are buying them. It's like, if you're not doing promotions, I know at one point in time, I was actually scared to do promotions because I thought our business, we had this I was like, I want to be like Apple. I want our business to be like, we don't ever do promotions. We have this high product value integrity. And I was like, I don't want to discount it or anything like that. And then, we started running promotions, actually started making a ton of money. And I was like, oh shit, well, I guess we're not Apple. The reason people do promotions because they work. But if you want to do, first got to do promotions, but then there's ways to really put in, the steroids on the promotion. And this is what we're going to talk about right now.
Money, baby.
Right.
Well, I guess since we talked about the fact that people should do promotions, what would you even define as a promotion?
So I think promotion can be anything, but it's like you have your product, and what I say is what is the incentive for someone to buy now, right?
Exactly. And
that's
that's what we talked about in the last episode. You got to give them a reason to act now.
Yeah.
And that's why promotions are important.
Yeah. So in this case, you have your promotion out there, and a lot of times this promotion is going to be time-based. And like you said, a lot of the sales, if you do it right, you launch it, but then 50% plus of your sales is going to come in the last minute.
Yeah.
Why? Because people are fucking lazy, right? They
They just need a kick in the ass, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about giving them today, actually.
So let's talk. Let's just have you break it down because I'm not the best at this, and I think I have a lot to learn. Actually, is what are the things that you think about when you are approaching the end of the sale? That's your what is your email strategy? What kind of content are you pushing out to people to get them to buy?
Yeah. So I guess I want to start with the fact that a lot of people make this mistake, even professionals. And that's the whole reason why I brought the idea of this episode to you today was because I was looking at our sales. We're currently in the middle of a promotion and it's going pretty well, but I'm looking at the sales and the offer closes tomorrow night. So I'm like, okay, a lot more sales should be coming in right now than there are coming in. So I started taking a look at our emails and I noticed something that I was like, dude, what the fuck are we doing? Because there was no scarcity. I mean, there was, but it was just like, hey, this closes, right? We weren't creating any pain. We weren't, creating benefits and all the stuff.
Dude, this is what we do all the time. Sorry to interrupt, but I mean, this is exactly what we do. Is we're just like, hey, by the way, the sale's closing pretty soon. Can you please, buy it now or whatever? Which is okay, but
it works. But it's
not. There's so much more we could be doing.
That's not the steroids. That's not what's gonna really make you a ton of money.
Yeah.
So I'm going through it, and I'm like, dude, we're just talking about the features of the course, like what's inside the course over and over and over again. And then we put
just reiterating the offer.
Yeah. And we put a slightly different angle on it or something like that to, appeal to different audiences, but we're not pushing them over the edge to buy. So I had approached our copywriter and I started giving her some examples. So just to paint a picture for everybody that's listening right now, this is a course on how to sell jewelry right now. This is something that we do. We make a couple $1 million a year doing it. And for the past few months, we've been kind of experimenting with how we can teach students to do it, released it to private students, and we've got some of them making like $30K a day now. So it's absolutely insane.
Dude.
We made a course out of it. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to stop selling the course tomorrow, and we're probably not going to sell it for like 6 more months. So I noticed everything I just told you about.
Yeah.
So I brought it up to our copywriter, and I said, well, the first thing we need to do is start making it painful not to buy. So we need to think of every single like fear or thing that our prospect hates doing when it comes to, you know, this type of business, right? So in our instance, e-commerce and Facebook advertising, I started asking her, I'm like, so what do you think the prospect hates doing? Well, number one, and it's funny, we've actually got them written down. If anybody's watching on the video, you might be able to see them up here. We've got them written down up there. But the top issues is like not knowing the next step, right? That's the number one issue we have listed. So I'm like, okay, the number one issue our prospect has is they'll start taking action and they don't know what the next step is. So how can we start making this problem the solution to that while also making it very painful? So in our emails, I'm telling her to write like, okay, so here's your choices, right? You can keep doing what you're doing right now. Maybe you don't get our course. And then what? You start a store, but what next? How are you going to know when it's time to do this, or that? How are you going to know whether a product is working or not? You might spend like thousands of dollars trying to figure out just the steps before you can even start making sales, or you could get our blueprint to do it for just $9.97 now. And the whole purpose of wording it that way, it's always like, here are your choices. You can do this, which is extremely painful.
Yeah.
All right. And this is what's going to happen if you don't go with our solution, or you can get our solution that was literally built so you do not have to ever feel that pain. And the next part was, I said, now also, what are they getting with it? Okay, so they're getting the course, right? And that's the step-by-step. It's how people are making money, right? What else are we offering them? And then I was like, okay, let's think about our software that we built to give away with the course, right? What does that do? It creates custom, proven-to-sell designs at the click of a few buttons. So nobody has to pay for Photoshop or Canva or hire a designer or something like that. And then we also like tested all the designs before we uploaded them into the software just to make sure that people do buy them and that they're not just buying them, but it's actually profitable. We got good return on ad spend, right? So I told her, how can we put that in the email, right?
So is this one email or is this like multiple that you're doing over?
You can do it multiple ways. It doesn't matter. You can do like an email about a specific pain point and make the whole email about that pain point, or you could do it as bullet points. Like historically for me, I always do it as bullet points. I just break them all down. I want to like make immense amounts of pain. So, you know, I'm not, anyways, so like in the email, right?
Yeah.
Essentially we're saying, okay, so now that you decided you wanted to sell jewelry, you have to start making designs to sell. Here's your issue, right? You either have to learn a really complicated and expensive software like Photoshop, which is going to run you like $50 a month. Okay, for someone that we're selling to, $50 a month to learn a software they don't even know how to use. That's like a lot of money. That's a huge pain point for them. And then I say, or you could go to Upwork or Fiverr or something like that, and you could guess and hire a designer that might be good, might be bad. You don't know, because you don't know how to hire people. You've never hired people before. And then you have to hope they can get the design right. And you hope that people buy their designs. And you might end up spending thousands of dollars just trying to get the right design. Or, you know, when you join our course today, you get free access to the software that we built literally to solve that problem. All you have to do is go in there, you edit the text. The designs are already beautiful. They're already proven to sell. Now all you have to do is edit text. And then people will say, well, why don't I use Canva or something like that? And then we say, you could use something like Canva, but then you're starting from a blank canvas. It's free, yes, but you're starting from scratch. You're not a professional designer. You don't know what goes into a proven to sell design. And you just have no idea if it's going to work or not. You might build hundreds of these bad boys before you get to one. So we're building up that pain, like making them see what life is like without our solution, how painful and like confusing and lost you really could be without the solution. And then we say, or you can get the solution. All those are gone instantly. You do not have to feel this pain. And the reason why this works is because our prospects have already decided that this is something they want to do, right?
They're already reading the email.
They're in the email. They're watching the video. Yeah. They know this is a vertical or an industry that they want to be in. They've already decided that.
They probably already watched your webinar too, right? A lot of these people are getting your emails.
Yes, exactly. And so because they've already decided to do that, when you're telling them about all these painful things, it kind of like stresses them out. And it's like, yeah, that does sound terrible. And yeah, I do want the solution, because what do people want? They want results, they want lack of pain, and they want things to be done quickly. So if you can,
I think also, sorry to interrupt, but they are, sometimes people are they've crossed the emotional line of where they're interested in buying, but sometimes they have to rationally back it up to themselves even to justify why they're gonna buy. So they might be interested. They watched the whole webinar. Now they're reading your emails and they're close to buying. But some people, you need to be able to push them over the edge. So what I'm hearing from you is basically, number one is if you identify people's real pains, that's very helpful and understanding what angle you're going to use in this email. Yeah. Second that I heard from you is like anchoring. So being like, okay, here's your two options. Let me first anchor what your future life could be like here. And then position our product as, the solution. It's going to be so much different. And all this time you're hitting exactly what their pain points or their fears or objections were, but then you're also, giving them this like solution for it. So that's, in their mind, they're basically getting over their own objections.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
but you're also exacerbating the potential pain. They might not even thought of this pain, but you're really painting the picture clearly for them.
Yeah. And you want to make it seem like it's going to be super time consuming or super expensive or just like a moot point, like pointless. Like you could try it without this, but it's going to be terrible, right? Yeah. You just want to make it seem like your solution is the only solution. Comparing that, because like what we were doing before in our closing emails, right? It's just like, hey, is this right for you? If you want to make money selling jewelry, yeah, it's right for you.
That's probably what I would do.
And then we just go through
it's pretty weak.
The features. Like you're going to get the 7-week course that has helped students make $30K. And that's fine, right? Like that is what they're getting, a 7-week course that has helped students make $30K. And they are getting a software that helps with designs. But it's so much more powerful to say, look, if you don't have this course, here's what's going to happen. Your life's going to suck. It's going to be really confusing. And a lot of the times this is really true because it's like, well, if I wanted to go to Michigan or something like that, right? I'm not going to not use a fucking map. Okay? I'm not going to try to just figure it out. I'm going to fucking load up Google Maps and I'm going to do it, right? Yeah. And it's the same thing for your business, right? People want a map. They want to know how to get there. They want to know how to save money while doing it, how to save time while doing it. And it's like the same thing as a map, right? I'm going to save money because I'm going to get the straight, quickest destination. I'm not going to have to pay a bunch in gas if I'm going to Michigan, right? And I'm going to save time because I'm just going to get there quicker. So it's the same thing.
So you probably have like a 1,000 different angles that you can use, right? If you sat down and you were like, okay, what are all the pains that we solve? You probably have a ton of them. Dude, how do you decide which ones to use?
Oh, it's really off of testing, like in the past, what people respond to most. But before then, it's just testing. I literally just came up with stuff. I think of the biggest problems that are probably the most expensive or the most time consuming. Yeah. And then, or what people are just scared to do most. Like a lot of the times, some of these things are really easy, but people are scared of it for some reason. And it's just maybe because it's unknown or it seems confusing. And then, I typically will go with those and then paint it out to be the boogeyman, and then paint yourself as the solution. Yeah. And the next part is really just more risk reversal. Okay, so that's part one of the close is making them feel pain, and then being the only solution to that pain. And then part two is risk reversal. And this is the easiest thing ever. We talked about it on the last episode, and it's really not much different, but we weren't even doing this in our emails. So, and we have at
the end of the sale, this is super important. This like guarantee or just reversing that risk of being able to buy.
When you're in like the last 24, 12, like this 6 hours, and people are so interested, and then you can remove all their risk. It's like, all right, fuck yeah, I'll buy it, whatever, because there's no risk there. And they can so like in our case, it's just get their money back, right? Yeah. But the reason, and I know this sounds obvious, and we talked about it in our last episode, but the whole point of this episode is because we have a really good copywriter. She's a professional. She's great at what she does, and she wasn't doing these things. So I'm like, well, shit, if she's not doing these things.
Well, I don't even do these things, man, because like I make the common mistake where I just go, hey, this deal is closing soon. Here's what you get, you know what I mean? But these things will actually add a lot to that, and it's actually going to get people psychologically. There's going to be a lot more buyers if you actually take the time to think about these pains, do this risk reversal. So that's why it's so important.
With the risk reversal, we just once again touch on the pain, and this is like in a separate part. So like I said, we kind of do the original things as bullet points, and that's really just breaking down features and then making it painful, right? So The feature is, for instance, the software. It's a bullet point about the software. Here's life without the software. It sucks. It's expensive. You're guessing. Here's life with the software. It's fucking magical. It's done for you. It's proven to work, right? And then later on, though, now we're going to talk about paying a little bit more. And that's when it comes down to relation to the price of whatever it is you're selling. And it's like, look, the price is $9.97, and we don't say price, just a little, I guess, OCD copywriting. The investment today is $9.97.
I like that. Yeah,
and
it's like psychologically better. Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself, $9.97, it might seem like a lot to you right now, but what about the cost of going out and doing this on your own? Yeah. It could cost you $1,000 just to get your store set up. We're giving you all this with it. That would cost you another blank, 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 right? And this is all just paying around the price. It's specifically about the price.
And anchoring, too. I mean, you're anchoring other prices probably here, aren't you?
Yeah, we're talking about the price of running Facebook ads just to find the first winner, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Or hiring a designer, all that. But it's literally all based around price. And then we say, plus, you have a 30-day refund guarantee. So you can go in here, you can look at everything, you can try it all out. If you decide it's not for you, then you just get your money back. So it's actually the cheapest option you could take, because if you went out there and tried to do it on your own, you're going to spend this money anyways, and you're not going to get anything in return. Yeah. At least this way, you get the map, and if the map doesn't work for you, you get your money back, and you're still not in the hole as much as you would have been without it anyways, because you don't have to spend all that money testing, setting up, and just trying to figure things out, because you used our map to do that. Yeah. Okay. So any money that you would have spent, it's just all saved here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So in this part, in terms of like addressing the price, the things that I'm hearing for you are, number one is like anchoring to some other price points or some other future different things so they can compare it. I think this is super important because everyone's mind works on a comparison engine, meaning that whatever you think about your life, whatever you think about products or prices is always just, it isn't the actual price. It is in comparison to something else. Like, if you were to go buy a gallon of milk and you're used to buying it for $4, then that's normal to you. But if there was like, this is like the worst example ever, but if you're in a place, if you were in a place where milk was really cheap, then that would be your price anchor. You know what I mean? It's like whatever you're used to. Better example would be like your job salary, right? If you start out at 35 grand and your friends making 50, man, 50 sounds like amazing, right? And then if you make 50 and your other friend makes 70, it's like, well, 70 sounds amazing, It's just like, doesn't really matter where you are in the spectrum. It's always just anchored to whatever you're comparing it to. Sorry about the milk one. That was terrible.
Right. Clayton, we forgive you just because this is the biggest marketing podcast in the universe and people know that we're idiots.
Yeah, and I'm really concentrating on milk today. Yeah.
Anyways, it's really simple. But again, like we weren't doing it. If people haven't bought yet, there's a reason. So you need to, and a lot of times it's like, it's going to be price. People don't want to part with their money. Okay. It's not painful enough to buy. It should always be more painful not to buy than it is to buy. And you do that by creating pain and then get rid of any risk. So that's really our strategies. And up until...
in terms of like the risk thing, so I touched on the price or the comparison engine in people's minds.
Yeah.
The risk thing, you said you just give like a money back guarantee, right?
Yeah. And there's other ways to do it too. Yeah. But the biggest one, at least for us and our industry, is just money back guarantees. I've seen other people do things before, like let's say you're a designer, unlimited revisions and things like that, right? Like if you don't like it the first time, we'll do it again. Or some other one is like, we'll add this on if you don't like it, blah, 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 right? But for us, it's just a money back guarantee. It's a course, it's a digital product. I mean, there's not a lot else we can do. Yeah. And something that we do that I didn't mention on, because I didn't think it was super important, was that we don't only just refund the course, but we also refund their first $250 in ad spend.
Wow.
So
you can go into the red for this.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't end up taking it just because we don't even end up getting a lot of refunds.
Yeah.
And I can explain that in a second too, but this is just another way of saying like, it would actually be stupid not to join because you're coming out on top, because not only you get $9.97, but you're getting another $250 on top of it. So no matter what, you win here, right?
Yeah.
But the reason we do that and the way that we justify and anchor that is like, look, you're spending about $10 a day on ads, right? It's about $300. We'll cover most of that since you're coming in around like day 30. You know, it could be day 25, it could be day 26, something like that. So not only are you getting your $997 back, but also $250. And then what some people do as well,
because they're thinking like, yo, I'm gonna have to run ads to do this. That's part of your pitch, and so
you
you're
have
covering
to,
not only that course pitch, but also that part. It's really,
because
really good.
in our refund guarantee, it is conditional. We say, well, you have to spend money on ads. You have to at least show us that you tried.
Yeah.
But then we also say, look, and if it doesn't, people will say, well, you're not going to refund me on that. I'm like, well, yeah, actually we are. We're going to give you the 250 back. And then another thing that a lot of people do in this industry is they say, and we'll even let you keep X, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times you'll throw in free bonuses. So, you know, courses or checklists, something like that. That's a free bonus. If you buy the course, get instant access to X, Y, or Z. And a lot of people will say, we'll even let you keep X. So even if you decide you don't like this, you still come out on top because you got that extra course or whatever it is that you didn't have before, which will still solve problems that they have.
Look,
you know?
I'm a big fan of this, and I want to pause for a minute, but I'm a big fan of having that refund guarantee for a couple reasons. Like, look, you're in an info product business where, like, if you refund it, like, there's not a lot of hard costs. But you did said you would refund even if going to the red, because there are hard costs. You know, for that. But,
you know, we built like the software and stuff, which cost us like $30,000. We have to make our money back on that.
You gotta make your money back, but I mean, you didn't like for each new person that joins. It's not a lot of work. Yeah, it's a high profit business, high margin business. However, for the people that do not have digital products, I'm still a big fan of 100% money back guarantee. Like a couple years ago in our business, which is a service based business, we actually have hard costs because we pay real people to do actual work. We decided to go to a 100% satisfaction guarantee, right? Mm-hmm. On all the products, and it's kind of a risk because we could have actually produced products and paid someone real money because we don't run 95% margins like a digital product.
Yeah,
we run like 50% or somewhere around 50% margins depending on the product, and so we could actually lose. But here's the thing: number one is that giving people a guarantee, that people like expect guarantees, right? Guarantees are there. So if you don't have a guarantee, that could not only not be a thing that pushes them over the line, it could be something that kills the deal if you don't have a guarantee. Because I've had people come up and say, "What's your guarantee?" You know what I mean? Like they expect it to be there.
You're like, my milk guarantee?
Yeah.
I guarantee to find you the best milk.
Sorry about the milk, dude. It's so painful. we gotta forget that. So you gotta have a guarantee. But then at the same time, for the people that, like, let's say there's always going to be a section that for whatever reason they don't like your product or whatever, even if your product's awesome, you got great reviews and you do a really good job, there's going to be a certain amount of people that buy it, don't like it or whatever, they want their money back. And what I think is it's so much better because anybody can look up your business online and people are so intent on seeing if you're real, legit, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you try to hold someone's money, the money it is going to cost in terms of reputation of somebody being like, yo, they didn't give me my money back, and they will go to town because to them their time is not valuable, and they will just use all of their time to try to bring you down.
Yeah.
So it's like it's so much better even to just give the money back, period. So I'm a huge fan of guarantees, even if you're not on a info product business that has like 95% margin. So just want to touch on that.
Bro, there's two more things we can even add to the guarantees. Number one is it's a really good marketing angle, especially if you're giving money on top of it about how fucking good your product is. So for instance, let's talk about how we give an extra $250 to cover your ad cost. We can use that as a marketing angle. I mean, like, look, this is how much we believe in our product because we've seen all the results it gets people. So we know that if you take results that we're not even going to have to give you a refund because you're going to be so... like you're going to love everything so much. That's how confident we are in our product. So it exudes like confidence, right? And then it just makes people feel really good about you. You're like, damn, these guys feel so good about it. Or they know so it's going to work so well that they can offer this.
I like that.
Wow, they must never have to pay them out or something like that. Because
how often do you actually pay out the refunds?
Dude, it's like, I mean, we pay out the refunds. I don't want it to come across like we're not, but our refund rate is low. It's like less than 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a bunch of people coming asking for refunds.
So you can make an aggressive refund offer, and probably
just
as
know
long
the
as your product
numbers.
is good, the amount of people that are going to actually take you up on a very small.
Yeah, I mean, there's, Jason Fladlin is?
No.
So
Yeah, I've heard of him, but.
Yeah, he writes webinars and stuff, and he's got some that are like, we'll give you $2,000 on top of it if you don't like it.
Damn.
Because he knows his numbers.
Yeah.
He explained it in a video, and he's like, well, I know we're going to get X amount of refunds, and it's going to end up costing me this much, but I also know it increases sales by this much, and it just increases sales by more than enough to justify paying out that extra cash. And then what he does is he's like, it's crazy. He takes a picture of his Wells Fargo's bank account, has Wells Fargo sign it, and he shows the amount of money in the bank account to show that he's ready to pay for those refunds if he needs to.
Wow.
That's like taking it to the next level. But
I lied. I actually read his whole book. He has a book about webinars, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. It's like called One to Many, I think.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I read it. Yeah.
But also, we both read this book, How to Get Super Rich in the Opportunity Market.
Oh, yeah.
And what does he say about refunds? He's like, people might not like one product, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to like your other products. A lot of people buy multiple products, so you should refund them. Make sure they have an amazing experience. It's easy to refund, and it's just easy to work with your brand. So when it is time for them to buy another product of yours, they're not going to have that bad taste in their mouth, and they're happy to buy another product. That's also a great book for anybody who's in the digital marketing space, or you sell BizOp or even weight loss, anything that's like opportunity, right? So that'd be BizOp, weight loss, investing. I mean, like what else? I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good marketing book, period, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
I definitely recommend checking that. But we're getting a little off topic. I guess slightly on topic. But wait, did we even say what it was? Yeah, we did. Okay. But yeah, so you start off the emails causing pain. You want to cement the pain. Just think of your like most important features and how they solve your customers' biggest pain points. And that is something that you should have been doing when you were coming up with the offer, which we talked about in our last episode. Highly recommend checking that out. And then number 2 is you just do risk reversal while also anchoring it to price. Like you essentially say, hey, it's going to be X expensive. It's going to cost you $6,000 to try this on your own. You can get our blueprint for $997, save a bunch of money. And then even if you don't like it, you get your money back, right? So that's the 2 important things that every close of a special offer needs to have. Now, when do you start talking about this stuff? Now, it's going to vary from business to business. This promotion right here is about 7 days long. So we're waiting till the final 48 hours. Up until then, all we want is for people to be aware of the offer. And we want to be a little omnipresent about it. We want retargeting ads up, show like, hey, the offer's here, check it out. Just reminding them what's in the offer. Up until the close, all you need to focus on is making sure they understand what it is and what's inside. And then for the final 48 or 24 hours, depending on how long your promotion is, right? Because if it's, 3 days long, you don't want to hammer them for 48 hours about the close. You do that for the last day. But for that last 48 or 24 hours, that's when you really start hammering in on that stuff. And you want to email them about it a bit,
Yeah. So I want to understand the cadence of like the emails that are going out, because just explain the cadence, and also, I want to see how aggressive you are with the emails going out at the end of a promotion. All right, so I think people are scared. A lot of people are even scared to start an email list.
Yeah.
But then once you start an email, it's like, oh, I don't want to bother my list. I actually had somebody say that to me the other day, and I was like, we
talked about that before. All that means is that your offers suck. Like you're not proud of them.
Well, maybe they are proud of them. They just don't know what it's like. The first time you ever start mailing, it's like, you have all these ideas of how much you should send. So I want to know, from when you're closing down this promotion, what does it look like? What is the cadence? How aggressive are you going to get on these emails, and what do those emails look like?
I'll get to that. But I do want to touch on that last point still, is like, dude, if you really love someone's content, right, and they were providing you just fire ass stuff that you loved and you're digesting all of it, would you care that he sent you 5 or 6 amazing things that could change your life in that one day? No, you'd be like, fuck yeah, this is great. You might not read them all that same day. You might be like, okay, I don't have time for this today, but I'm going to start it. I'm going to come back to it later. But if your stuff's good and people like you and you provide value, no one's going to give a fuck about how much you email them, as long as it's good and useful content.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, man, because like at the end of these emails, you're promoting pretty hard. Like this is not value-driven content. This is like, this is my offer.
Now, ask yourself the next question.
All right.
Do you want an email list full of people who don't buy your shit or people who buy your shit? If people aren't buying things anyways, they can unsubscribe. That's
True that.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
It doesn't matter if they're annoyed or they don't like what you have, because those aren't people you want on your email list in the first place. Yeah. Okay. You have a personality, you got a vibe, you got a way that you do things, and if people don't jive with it, they're just not fit to be with you. It's better for everybody. The customer's going to be happier. They're going to find someone that fits them better, and you're going to be happier because you've got customers who fit your mold and how you operate your business, and they like what you do. So to me, it doesn't matter.
But you still got to make these emails good though.
Yeah, I mean they've got to be good, and it doesn't matter. That's a whole nother topic.
Okay.
Tone and cadence. So like I said, this really depends on the length of your offer. I'll go through a 7-day promotion as an example, and then a 3-day promotion as an example, because those are like very normal windows in the webinar world at least, and that's what we're dealing with here. So for the last 48 hours, I think that they're really on day one, so out of the 2 days of the close, you really only need to see 1 or 2 emails, okay? Number 1, early that morning, is just another reminder of everything that's included, and then maybe like a case study or something, right?
Okay.
So it's nothing too crazy. And then the second email that day, if you do send a second one, it's probably going to be very tail end of the day, maybe even midnight. So it's not even
what time
technically
do you? Yeah, I was gonna say what time you like 5 p.m.
I would say the first email you could send at about 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. And then the second one it's probably gonna come at like 10, 11, or even 12. So really late.
So is that like when people are at home thinking about going to sleep, they're checking their computer for like the last time of the day, or?
Yeah, especially now with COVID, man. Like now that things have really shifted. Before it would have been like a 9 p.m. thing, but now what we're finding, since people are at home more and they're up later because a lot of them are working from home and stuff like that, it's like midnight is really good. In fact, some of our best open rates are actually like 1 a.m. right now.
Really?
It's crazy. I think we talked about that a little bit before. I can't remember, but pretty sure we did. So in that email at midnight, here's when you're going to start touching on scarcity, like, hey, there's 24 hours left.
Yeah.
All right. So you get in, and I guess I kind of didn't mention that much earlier, but you also want to hammer scarcity in all of these emails.
Yeah, like the offer's closing.
Yes, you need to give people a reason to buy now. So you would tie that in with the pain, right? In 3 hours, you're going to have to feel this pain unless you get in, right?
Yeah.
Now, the final day, dude, you're going to be sending a lot of emails. But
really?
Hopefully.
How many emails you send? Because we usually send 1.
It's going to be like 6 to 8.
6 to 8 emails?
Yes, but here's the thing is they're segmented.
Damn.
It's just segments.
Okay.
So it's not like one person is getting 6 emails. Although the really active people who are really close to the edge, they're going to get like 4 emails. So it's going to be a lot. So you're going to have 2 segments. You're going to have the entire list and then people who are interested in the offer. The people who are in the entire list, this is kind of just trying to get them interested still. You're gonna be using the pain and stuff like that.
The stuff that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, and they're going to be longer emails though, because you have to talk about what's included in the offer still and all that, because they haven't. It's either like they haven't even viewed the replay yet, or they haven't watched the.
So you got to reiterate a lot of stuff in those emails.
And those emails, it's going to be a lot. Or another way to do it is just have a separate landing page just for them, which has an offer recap or something like that. Yeah. But you need to keep in mind for the people who haven't been interested, because what's going to happen is now that the scarcity is in and you're talking about like, hey, there's only a couple hours left, people who weren't necessarily interested before, they're going to start thinking like, oh, I only have a few more hours left to check this out. I guess I should check it out. What if it is something I'm interested in? What if I will like this, right?
Okay.
But they haven't checked it out before because you're, segmenting your list. Hopefully, a lot of people. Maybe we got to talk about that.
Yeah, you got to talk about, because I'm not even that good at that either.
Yeah, well, it's just for us. The way we do it is: have they watched the webinar yet? Yes or no.
Okay.
If it's yes, then they're going to get different emails because they already know what's in the offer. And then that could also be like, did they stay on the replay page for a long time? Yes or no? Okay, give them the watch the webinar segment, right? So it's not very complicated. It's just how we gauge if they've seen what's in the offer and are they interested in it. Yeah. So these people, though, that haven't showed a lot of interest, they haven't watched the webinar yet, they haven't done anything, your whole goal here is just to get them to click through and check it out and get on the highly engaged segment. Now, you don't want to spam people who are not super interested in the offer. So you're probably only going to send them 2 to 3 emails. And there's probably a lot of people listening.
Still a lot.
That's fucking spam.
It's still a lot.
Whatever. I mean, you're going to hate making money. I don't know what to say, right?
This is just part of the game. Everybody I know that's actually balling, they send lots of emails. So,
dude, there's people that send a lot more emails than us. And they also make a lot more money than us.
Yeah.
So with that, though, it's just, simple. Hey, you're going to do scarcity. You're going to list out basically the entire offer, and you're going to do some pain and stuff still because you want them to feel that scarcity. And the way to make people feel scarcity is to tie the pain to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you send one of those like 9 a.m. and then another one at 6 p.m., right? Now we go to the more segmented list.
So these are the people that have watched the webinar.
These are people that have watched the webinar. They've gone to like the checkout page. They're clicking the links in every email, stuff like that, right? For anyone who's interested in how you can do that, it's all very simple to do. You just do it via tags in ActiveCampaign. I might be speaking a different language to you. Go sign up for an ActiveCampaign tutorial. There's no way to guide you through that unless we are literally sharing our screen. But now we've got the people who have been really highly active, and we're going to send them like 4 or 5 emails.
Just slam that down their throat.
We're going to send an email at 9 a.m. like that good Actually, we've switched to like 8:20 a.m. And the reason we do that is because we're trying to pay attention to when people wake up on the East Coast, and we want to be the first email in their inbox after they clean their email. Because what most people do is they wake up, they check their email, and they just, clear shit out.
Yeah.
And you want to be the first email that arrives after they do that. So that's why you don't send it at 8. A lot of people are sending it at 8, and they're in that first purge. You want to be at 8:20 or 8:30 so you can be one of the first emails after the purge.
Okay.
Anyways, that first email, this is when we start hitting them hard with that scarcity. Like, hey, just a reminder, today is the final day to get in. Look, and then you start doing all the pain things we talked about earlier. Okay. Like, look, you got 2 options.
Are these shorter emails, or are these still long emails?
They're a couple hundred words, like 300 to 400 words.
Pretty short.
Yeah, they're not long. I mean, I would consider a long email like 1,000+ words, and like a medium email. Probably, I would say this is like medium length. We don't do like super long emails ever.
So you're gonna hit these angles, and then these are the engaged people. So are you sending them to a sales page, or you sending them straight to checkout, or where are you
right now? We're still sending them to a sales page.
Okay.
Later in the day, like in the last 6 hours, or maybe in the last 3 hours, we send them straight to checkout. But I'll get to that
in the other emails.
Yeah.
Come in. Yeah.
So in the first email, it's really like the whole point is to make sure they understand today is the last day to get this offer.
Yeah.
Here's what happens if you don't get it today, right?
Okay.
And then you keep doing that until so you can send like 2 or 3 more emails throughout the day, one at like noon, which will be the 12 hours left email. Just think of those like big numbers that people think of, right? Like 12 hours left, 6 hours left, 3 hours left, and 1 hour left, right?
Or do you use that as a subject line, or what are you doing there?
Okay. A lot of times we do.
Cool.
Because that's all that they need to worry about. That's what we're trying to remind them is these people have checked out the offer. They know what you're talking about, and now you need to let them know. Hey,
there ain't no more time, baby.
left to get in. Okay, time's running out. You want to get in?
Let's go.
In. So I like to use those big points of the day that people usually count by. Like, I'll do it in 6 hours. I'll do it in 12 hours. I'll do it in 3 hours. Stuff like that, right? Because it's easy for people to visualize. When you say like 9 hours, it's just a little bit more random. It's harder to visualize. It's not as obvious of a number just because, you look at a clock, 3, 6, 9, 12. I mean, those are like perfect, right?
Yep.
And you're basically going to keep that up. But once you get to the 6 hours left mark, and you're getting into like your last 3 emails here, now you're going to switch it up a little bit. And it's really going to be focused on just pain. Like, look, you're running out of time. If you're not getting in now, it's going to be awful, blah, blah, blah. And you start really diving deep into it. And you just have these like big blocks of text. They're bullet points, but they're blocks that are like pain, solution, pain, solution, pain, solution. Don't feel the pain. Like, why would you do this to yourself? Just get in now. You only have 6 hours left, and then you're out of time, right?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's pretty simple. We're kind of just reiterating the same points over and over because we're letting the scarcity do the work for us, reminding them of the pain, and then letting the scarcity do the work. Because if they don't purchase in X amount of time, then that pain becomes real. It's something they're going to actually live with and deal with. And then in the last email, we'll send it like 30 minutes left or something like that, only to the most engaged. This is people who have gone to the checkout page probably. So they're thinking about it, but they didn't buy. And it's literally just a really short, like 50-word email. Like, hey, here's option number 1. You keep doing things the way you are. Maybe something works. You spend a lot of money trying to figure stuff out. Option 2, you get in now. We solve all that for you. But there's only 30 minutes left. This is the time to make a decision. How do you want your life to be? timer. You put a little countdown email.
How do you want your life to be?
Yeah, you put a little countdown timer in the email and then a link straight to the checkout page, and then you're done.
How do you do the countdown timer in your email?
We use countdownmail.com.
Okay.
It's really simple. It's free too, actually.
Dude, I need to check it out.
Yeah, it's really good.
Countdownmail.com.
Yeah, I can even.
All right, we'll link it up.
Look, guys,
link it up here.
We'll show you. We've got it right here. Actually, it looks like our copywriter just sent an email 50 minutes ago. Yeah, see?
Oh, that's cool, man. Maybe show the camera.
I'm gonna try to show the camera. It's gonna be out of focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For anybody that can't see it on the audio, it just looks like a little timer inside the actual email.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, speak it to the mic.
Oh, sorry, guys. Look, there's a little timer there. You can see it. It's counting down in an email.
It's awesome. Okay, so that was kind of the basically 2 days, and then for the 7 days, you just kind of stretch that out over 7 days if you have a 7-day promotion.
Yeah. So, that was the 2 days. If it was a 7-day promotion, so that's the 7-day promotion.
So that's 7-day promotion. That's just like the last 48 hours.
Yeah. Up until then, all your only goal is to get people to look at the offer.
Okay.
You want them to watch the webinar. You want them to watch
look at
the sales
page.
video, look at the sales page, something like that. And you're just constantly reminding them. Like the whole goal is to be omnipresent. The offer should be on their face at all times.
So in those 7 days, like the first 4 or 5 days, you were just getting them to the offer, right?
Yeah, just getting them the offer, making sure they know what's inside, making sure they know that other people are having success with it, something like that.
The last couple of days, you just turn up the pain, the
Those
scarcity,
last 2 days,
risk reversal.
And that's why it works so well, too, is because the scarcity becomes real and the pain, they realize that's something they're going to have to live with if they don't act now, right? And it's so much more effective than what we were doing, which was just saying, hey, here's what's inside. Hey, here's what's inside.
Dude,
hey,
I need to do this.
Hey, here's what's inside.
I've done this before, and I know that it works. And sometimes you get lazy, and you have to be reminded of some of these things.
Stupid thing to get lazy about.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I actually think we could do a cool exercise where we come up with something for your offer. But we were going to talk about the 3-day, like the 1 day close on the 3-day, but it's essentially what I said for the last day. I mean, it's just the 5 to 8 emails to segmented lists. I don't think there's enough there to really break it out and go in depth. But
the concepts are still there that are super important. You can apply these, whether it's like a 30-day offer, 7 days, or whatever. I think if you just integrate these, these things that you talked about, it's going to be really powerful for driving a lot more people over the edge.
Yeah, you just need scarcity, you need pain, and your product needs to be the only solution to that pain. You need to anchor the pain and make it something they can imagine, use real examples of how life will not be as good without your product, and then risk reversal, okay? So the cost of doing it without your product and then getting rid of the cost almost, with a refund guarantee or unlimited revisions or something like that, and making it seem like essentially a no-brainer, like no sane, logical, rational person would pass on this offer because there's no risk, and the alternative is much worse, It's like, hey, if you're a dinosaur, would you go to the part where you can get hit by the asteroid or the part where you stay alive and stay safe, right? You want to almost make your decision seem like that. Like it's a no-brainer. Of course I want to go be safe. Of course I want this because it is the more logical, safer, no risk, least painful option is to get the offer, right?
Yeah.
And that's what your job needs to be during that close. And then you use scarcity because scarcity gives them a time. Like if you don't make the decision now, we're going to make it for you and you're going to go down that bad path you don't want to go down, right?
Cool, man. I love it.
Hey, man, if you want, we could do a quick example for your company and we could just figure something out. Like what are some of those pain things? Like, what is a pain someone could have? Okay. And how do you solve that? Like,
so I have a question, man, because, all right, so when you have an offer like you do, like you're actually going to close this course down and like people can't buy after that. Now, for me, probably like a lot of people that are listening as well, like they just have products that they sell all the time. The products and the ability to sell them is not going to close down.
Yeah.
So what we have done is we have like given like time limits. Like we made a special promotion where you get something extra in this time limit. You could buy the product anytime, but in this time period, you're going to get these extra things if you buy by this date.
Yeah.
So that's what we've done. And so like, we've run a lot of the same stuff over and over. So I kind of got out of the habit of like actually trying to really sell it. And we're just like, the promotion's ending or whatever. And then we'll do another one like a couple months later or something like that. So, I don't know. You want to just go for one of the products, or maybe like one of our main products, or
yeah, like what's one of your main products? Like what is?
Let's think about let's do like this blog content product.
Okay. So you guys sell blog content?
Yeah, so we sell blog content.
Okay.
So let's say we have a promotion, because we don't have a promotion on it right now, but sometimes we do. Maybe you can like get a specific discount on it. Now, this is a little bit different because it doesn't change your life like yours does. So I think when you paint that idea, where you're like, man, your life is going to go in a different direction. I feel like it's kind of hard to do that for something like this. It can be like
your business going in a different direction. Yeah. It's like, look, are you going to keep pumping out article after article, not knowing if it's properly optimized, not knowing if it's going to rank, not knowing if you're wasting your time and money, or do you want to get an article written by us? And our, I'm not sure exactly what goes in the offer, right? But like our dedicated SEO specialist is going to do your keyword research for you.
They do.
Low or high traffic, low competition keywords that we're, pretty confident we can help you out with, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And if you don't act now, what are you going to do? You're just going to keep hoping that maybe one day you'll get an article that ranks well, or do you just want it done for you right the first time? And at a 20% discount, because remember, for the next 24 hours, you can get this article 20% off. And if you don't even like it, we'll refund you. So there's nothing to lose here, because you're getting the experts to do it. You don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to go out there hoping to hire a good writer, because you're just going straight to the professionals. You don't have to mess with Upwork, broken English, things like that.
Yeah, so anchoring it, like you were talking about.
You just come to us, get it right the first time, and get a discount on it. Save money in the process,
Damn. So yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you're so in the weeds, you kind of forget about this type of stuff. But I think it's so cool to like bring it back around. It was so easy for you to do that just off the top of your head, and I saw it right there. So if we would just do that at the end of the month and really paint that picture versus the normal thing that everybody does, it's just like, hey, this promotion's ending. You got to really paint the pain. You got to anchor it. What are the other options that they might have, and why is that not the right option that they should take? Mm-hmm. What is the risk reversal that you're going to do?
What are the risks? Yeah, exactly. What are the risks of taking that option?
Yeah.
What could go wrong if they take that option? Could it maybe, in like your instance, could it actually damage their rankings or damage their website? What are the opportunities there? And I like that you brought up that, every business is different and they can't offer the same kind of offers. So for us was just closing it down, right?
Yeah.
But we also do this for our theme business, right? And we're not going to close down the theme. You can buy it year round, but we'll do special offers where, we'll set it up for you, something like that.
If you buy by this date.
If you buy right now while we're running our Memorial Day special or something like that, because we support vets and stuff, and we give a percentage like to charities and stuff like that. And what we'll say is like, if you buy during this time, we'll give you a proven to convert version of the theme that's based off of our own store, right? So it's a website template, but you still have to, with WordPress, you still have to it doesn't come pre-set up, right? You still have to set it up. But what we do is we give them a pre-set up version of the theme that you can't get on the theme store, and then we'll even set it up for them. We'll have our support staff set it up. So we'll say, hey, look, you got 72 hours to buy it, and then you get all this. After that, you're going to have to set it up yourself. You might set it up the wrong way. What happens if you get a setting wrong? Blah, blah, blah. All those things. Do the pain. And then we can't offer refund guarantees on the theme store because it's up to Shopify. So we can't do that per se. But, we remove the risk by saying we're going to even set it up for you.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I think you nailed it, dude. You want to just recap and then boom.
Yes, guys. So look. The reason for today's episode is because people are not closing their offers correctly. All businesses, if they're smart, do time-based offers because that is easy ways to make really big cash influxes. But what people are doing...
You have to do time-based offer. You have to do it.
Or quantity-based. There's other ways to do it.
If you close an offer down, people will buy like 50% plus on the last day. You got to reiterate.
You're going to be surprised at how untapped your customer list is.
Yeah,
so
it's
definitely
crazy.
Consider doing this.
Yeah.
Now... There are things that you need to include in these offers, whether it be via an ad, text message, Facebook message,
email,
which is obviously the methodology we're doing.
One of the main
what most
drivers.
people are doing.
Yeah.
So when you're communicating with your customers, you just need to convey these 3 points that we talked about today. You need scarcity. You need to constantly remind them that the offer is closing. You need pain. You need to tell them what their life is going to be like without your offer once it closes. So you tying it in with that scarcity, right? Hey, if you don't get now, you're going to have to deal with X, Y, Z. You're going to be confused. You're going to lose money. It's going to suck. Or you could just get a cheaper solution today, right now, and save yourself from all that. And then the final part is you need to reverse all the risk and make it a no-brainer to buy. So you've already explained to them about the pain. You've already explained to them that time is running out. Now just make them safe. Make them feel comfortable. Hey, if you don't like it, we'll even give your money back and you can keep X, Y, or Z, something like that, right? That is the perfect formula. And dude,
and don't be afraid to send a shitload of emails.
Yeah. If your stuff's good, there's no reason to be afraid to spread it.
Yeah.
But look, like, I know this works because we go up in affiliate competitions all the time with people who have much larger email lists, much bigger customer bases, much more raving fans and stuff like that. And their fans might even like them more than our fans like us. But it doesn't matter because they're not closing correctly. They're not tapping into the right emotions. They're not making the right guarantees. They're not doing it correctly. So I know it works. And I mean, I've got enough data over the years to prove it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let's do a fist bump. Now, guys, what are you doing? If you haven't liked, commented, subscribed on YouTube, ring the bell. It doesn't make any sense. We're the world's biggest marketing podcast, the universe's. And why would you want to miss out on that? Have you seen Clayton's face? Have you seen his muscles?
Yeah, let's do it, baby.
My fiance even made a comment about how vascular they are. That didn't hurt at all.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever,
Let's get it.
So if you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. Seriously, comment. We'd love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear
We're
what
replying to
you
every
wanna
single
see.
comment that comes in.
So come on. Do it.
Do
If you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave us a 5-star review as well as subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, the platform that doesn't allow you to do much, just subscribe.
Yep.
It's what the cool kids are doing. Make sure you come back for some more Rowdy Boys content. Oh, speaking of which, you can also go to Rowdy Boys, ROWDYBOYZ.net, and subscribe to our email list. We just sent out our first email the other day because we practice what we preach and we send emails.
Hell yeah.
It looked really good, by the way, Clayton.
Thank you.
Nice job on that.
Right. Yeah, and I think I plan on, if you get on the email list, we'll tell you when new episodes are out, but I also plan on doing some exclusive stuff for people that are on the email list, like exclusive marketing, tips, content, video stuff that you won't see on the normal podcast. So make sure you go to rowdyboys.net,
Dude,
subscribe right there. It's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, and when he says content that you don't normally get, he means shirtless photos of the two best
Actually,
marketers
that's
on the
exactly
planet.
what it is.
Let's go.
Hopefully people want that. Yeah.
Not that they need it. They can just go see it on our 75 Hard episode absolutely
yeah.
free, which people are telling us they love, by the way. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I'm getting like 3 to 4 messages a day from people just loving that episode. So
that's awesome,
check that out, guys. Anyways, this is the Rowdy Boys. Clayton, come on. Give us the voice.
Rowdy Boys!
Thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you guys.